Hello everyone, and welcome to another Limbus company tutorial video, where today I'll be teaching you how to make a blade team. There are two different types of blade teams. You've got Charge Blade with the ring IDs, and you've got Blood Feast with the glorious Blood Fiends. What you're going to want to do is go to your Settings tab. I will be teaching you how to make both, and some kind of makeshift hybrid team. I already have a few blade teams, but I shall show you how to make one from scratch. Now, instead of starting with the first sinner like usual, I will be starting with Gregor. For Gregor, you are always going to want to take the Priest of Lamanchaland. He has good self-blade for helping you with Blood Feast, and he has good self-blade for Blood Feast. For Otis, you're going to want to take Barber of Lamanchaland. Contrary to popular belief, the Barber of Lamanchaland Otis is not a very bad blade ID. Granted, she's not very good. We shall be using her anyway, even if just for her support passive. This, I forgot to mention, is the Blood Fiend blade team. So obviously, you are going to want to take all of the Blood Fiends. As you can see here, I've got every Blood Fiend. Now, something you may notice is that a few of the Blood Fiends are lacking in blade count. That's why you want to bring Ring Yi-Sang, despite him being on the Ring team. Now, you can really bring any other blade ID you want for the 7th slot on the Blood Fiend team. I personally like Middle Brother Heathcliff because he is pretty good at blade count, kind of. For your support passives, you're going to want to take Ring Apprentice Faust, N-Corp Ryoshu. You can take any Honglu support passive you want, but it's probably best to bring either Kurkuma or Ring Nurse for the Honglu, or even Fangon Office Fixer Honglu, as his support passive reduces bleed count on your allies. But the Blood Fiends don't really do self-bleed count. It is useful if you are fighting a boss who has bleed count. Regardless, I shall be bringing the Ring Nurse for the Honglu support passive, as I am not a cock. Now, for your Ishmael support passive, you can really take anything you want, as you will be using her for her support passive. You're gonna want to take anything you want, really, but I personally am going to take Lobotomy Ego Sloshing Ishmael, as she has a very nice support passive. For Sinclair, you're gonna want to take I'm not actually sure, you know. You could take any Sinclair support passive you want, really. Ignore me notification sounds. That's, I'm just a popular person. Anyway, I'm going to take the middle little brother, Sinclair, as he has a very nice support passive. I shall now demonstrate the blade team on Lei Heng. never mind. I'm going to demonstrate this blade team on thread excavation, because that's, you know what, no, let's do laying. People, and I'm demonstrating the blade team on laying. This is the Bloodfiend one. Ignore him, as I have to bring him. You can take any of them in backup deployment order. Any order you want. For Eagles, you're gonna want to take anything for Yisang you want. I'm only going to be taking the essentials to really demonstrate how good the blade team is. This is for I don't need healing. Those are the egos you're gonna want to take for the blade team. Blood fiends. Now, contrary to popular belief, bleed isn't actually all too special. It kind of just does shit. Which isn't bad, but it isn't very good. As if you are targeting an enemy who is staggered, it doesn't really do fuck all, because bleed only activates on coin toss on target, so you can't really do any fucking damage with it if they're staggered, which is kind of the name of the game. But you won't be noticing that as I'm fighting the Heng here. A common misconception is that the Blood Fiends have fallen off due to the ring having more bleed count. This is in fact not true, and the Blood Fiends aren't actually all that bad still. Granted, the ring can upkeep bleed count better. Ignoring this fact, as you should, the Blood Fiends are still good as they don't rely on bleed count on the target 24/7. I will admit, they do have a few weaknesses, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to try and kill Honglu as quickly as possible, because he isn't really doing fuck all. Kind of fucks with the team a little bit. Contrary to popular belief, the ring nurse Father Honglu isn't actually all that good of an idea, because to actually do anything with him, you have to build up charge, which isn't very good, unless you're running a charge team. And I believe, last time I checked, the ring team and any other blade team isn't charged now, is it? Ignoring this fact, he is a relatively good ID with some good count and potency. A common misconception is also that the Blood Fiends clashing is rather subpar these days, but that's neither here nor there. So I tried to kill Honglu, but he didn't really want to die. So I suppose we'll keep him around for a little bit.
왕의 비호를
뭐라고 서 있으면 목 떨어진다.
Now, as you can see, my bleed stacks died here, but that's alright because I'm running the Blood Fiends and they only need bleed damage. So, a lot of bleed potency on self. And, I guess, the target, but that's neither here nor there. You may be looking at the damage and thinking, that's rather subpar. That's because their effects aren't really up yet. Specifically Rodion, Gregor, and Ursus. Ignore me notification sound, I am rather popular these days, despite what the media may tell you. You don't really want to use Rodions in skill 3, only really if it's enhanced, as her enhanced skill 3, if I do say so myself, is rather shit. Again, do ignore me notification sounds, as I am just rather popular at times.
뭐라고 서 있으면 목 떨어진다.
Another reason the Blood Fiends are still very good is because they have a lot of self-healing through skill effects and Maso's hard blood armor. Contrary to popular belief, you can actually completely ignore all of their enhanced skill 3s and just use defense skills instead when you get them. I personally do find this rather more efficient in keeping them consistent with their with how good they are. Unfortunately, Dulcinea Rodion and Prince of Lamachuland Maso's skill 3s do work in conjunction with each other, although it isn't anything special. See, now I actually want him to lose that clash, as I want him dead, frankly. So I shall clash it with the skill 1, of course.
벌써 지쳤을까?
See, the Blood Fiends can take this hit and be fine because they have self-heal, as I previously mentioned.
또 달아오르는구먼.
내려라 머저리들이라는 뜻이다.
It's always important to check your Blood Fiends' unique effects before using their skill 3s, because if you accidentally use the enhanced version, they lose all of their ramp up, and that isn't very good. I'm using Roseate Desire here to build up a good bleed stack, which, contrary to popular belief, is actually a good ego, as it pauses the bleed count on the target, the main target. It is also a relatively good ego for clashing with. You see, using Roseate Desire might not have been necessary, but I believe I still got value out of it, because he might not have staggered before the good skill 2 from Manager Don Quixote. Manager Don Quixote's enhanced skill 2 is often thought to be the worst enhanced skill in her kit. This is in fact false information, as it does a shit ton of extra damage with various effects and shit that I can't be bothered to read. This is here why bleed is such a shit effect, because you see how Lei Heng is staggered. He's not taking any bleed damage this turn, and that is why bleed is so dog shit. There are certain skills that activate bleed on hit, such as Manager Don Quixote's enhanced skill 1, which is a rather good skill. Contrary to popular belief, it is not only good for increasing Blood Feast, it is also good for stagger turns, as I have just mentioned.
앞으로 더 많은 층을 개방하고 더 많은 보조사서의 도움을 받을 수 있을 거야.
I'm going to be using the classic trick of Lust Resonance to win this clash with Roseate Desire. It would have won anyway, I think, but Lust Resonance is a very good resonance, because that is the attack type of the ego I'm using. Contrary to popular belief, relying on resonance to win clashes isn't actually all that bad of an idea if executed correctly. Anyone who says relying on resonance, which I have heard multiple times previously, is actually telling you a bold-faced lie and should not be listened to. Now, you may see my Rhodion's sanity and think she's fucked, which she may be, but I'd like to think she isn't, as I am one of the more optimistic people in this world, as you can tell from my speech patterns. I do believe now myself that my Rhodion is rather a pickle myself. But not to worry, as I have some good blood fiends on the team. They don't do anything with sanity, but they are rather good. As you can see, this here is a good demonstration of why bleed can be really good, because I right now have got a fun dabby-dozy blade stack on Lei Heng, but it has just died. Another demonstration of why bleed is so shit. I have just finished the fight though, so frankly it doesn't matter. I don't know who Frank is, but regardless. I shall now show you the other bleed team before some kind of hybrid bleed team between the bleed team and the other bleed team. So, as you can see, the Blood Fiend team is rather good. So, now you're going to want to clear that team loadout because they're shit. Excuse that, part horse. Now for the ring team. You're going to want, obviously, all of the ring ideas, and I don't know all of them, so I'm kind of fucking... Ignore me. Right, so as you can see, this is the typical blade team for the ring. Unfortunately, I don't have ring Rhodion, so I'm going to actually make some genius adjustments. I'll just support her in But instead of ring Otis, you're going to want to bring Barbara of La Mancha Land Otis. And you're going to want to also bring Encore Brioche. These are all good ideas for the team, as they all have either unique debuffs that count towards the ring, or they just have they have bleed, so that's enough. There we go. So your deployment order is gonna wanna be something along these lines. For your support passives, you want multi-crack Office Fixer Heathcliff, as his support passive works really well for the 2 charge IDs in this ring team. I personally don't like charge all that much, because I find it a rather boring effect. It's just Blood Feast, but without the bleed, and it's really shit. For your Don Quixote support passive, you're gonna wanna bring anything you want, really. There's not really anything that works particularly well in this team. Although, I must say that in the name of love and hate, Don Quixote, otherwise known as Queen of Hatred Don, is a rather good idea for this team, due to the charge. That is a running theme with this team, unfortunately. Now, for your Gregor ID, you can really bring anything you like, although I like to bring the Priest of Lamentula Gregor's support ID. And for your Sinclair support ID, you're going to want to bring the middle little brother Sinclair yet again. And for Ishmael, you can bring anything you want, as you're really bringing her for the support passive. I personally really like Slosh Mail, as she has a nice support passive. For your ego, you're going to want to bring Hex Nail, Contempt, or Furiosa. You really want to bring Sanguine Desire, but I can't bring it because I'm using the support ID. And that's it, really. You don't really need any backup units for this team because it's just been given favoritism. Now you can enter the battle safely. Unlike the Blood Fiends, the Ring team really wants to keep up a good blade stack on the targets. So what you're gonna wanna do is try and build up a good blade stack on your main target, as that will likely lead to more successful outcomes in your trials and tribulations. Contrary to popular belief, it's not actually said forfism, and it's said furfism, as the French don't really know how the English language works, unfortunately. It is merely a coincidence that I too am rather French. This is in fact misinformation, and you shouldn't believe a word that comes out of my dirty mouth.
자신만만하게 달려가더니 근자감이었던 거야?
You're always gonna want to skip this cutscene unless you've not done it already, as it is it's just more efficient, is it? Yes. I don't know why I started talking to myself in the third person, but it's alright, I'm just gonna use all of my strong skills here, as I want a clean
점 찍었네.
slate. As you can see, the Barber Lamachulandotis isn't a bad idea, as she can actually clash relatively well against Leheng, only rolling one head on each coin, rolling one head on the coin of her skill 3. You know, I've actually got a joke about rolling. You know, so I used to be a professional cheese roll racer. And I used to professionally race with cheese rolls, rolling down hills. And I used to only roll once or twice a year, as it's only a yearly tradition in Britain. I myself am not a fan of cheese rolling, as it's rather hard. Speaking of cheese rolls, the word quesadilla directly translates to cheese turned over, which is relatively similar to cheese rolled over. But there's already a dish called cheese turned over, so they named it that in Spanish for some reason. I don't quite know, it must have been to avoid copyright or some shit. They could have called it a cheese rolled over, but they didn't for some reason. I don't know why. I wouldn't mind being rolled up by one of the sinners from Limbus company, as they are all typically rather attractive, and I myself am a fiend for blood of sorts. That was a joke. You can laugh if you like.
점 찍었네.
I don't know why Sang didn't win that fucking clash. He is a failure if I do say so myself, the dirty bitch. Speaking of bitch, there seems to be a lot of dog themes with Ring Rodion. Perhaps referencing to the fact that she is a woman, and female dogs are typically called bitches. This is also rather sexist and misogynistic to a certain degree, but I shan't get into the details of that. I personally find the fact she is portrayed with dog themes rather attractive, as I am a fiend of blood for swords. Contrary to popular belief, the Blood Fiends are still viable in modern-day Limbus company, and shouldn't be discarded. Speaking of discard, the discard IDs in this game are rather good, and shouldn't be overlooked as they are, in most cases, for some apparent reason. You see, you may be thinking that I want a Clash with closing time installation, but actually, I don't. I want a Clash with Hex now to get the Ego passive up, as it is a very good and valuable Ego passive. For the Ring team specifically. As you can see here, I've got a rather large amount of negative effects on Lei Heng himself. This is a reference to the Ring team typically liking a lot of negative effects on their target, as they deal more damage for each negative effect and apply unique effects for each negative effect of sorts.
해결사 영상 보는 거랑 좀 비슷한 느낌도 있고. 설까 이건 좀 재밌을지도?
You see here, I'm employing the Lust Resonance strategy once again, as it is a rather effective strategy, and does quite a lot for your teams, in terms of clashing. As you can see here, I staggered Leheng on the first turn, which, contrary to popular belief with the bleed team, is rather good, as it allows them to output more damage and build up a good bleed stack before they can roll another attack coin.
방금은 좀 쩔었는데.
It appears I've been running some burn as well by accident. As you can see here, some of my centers have caught on fire due to the extra burn on Lei Heng. I have previously mentioned burn not being all that good in my previous video, where I give you a guide on how to make a burn team. You should watch that video, as it is rather educational and very, very helpful.
점 찍었네. 인스피레이션 감사합니다.
I do find myself accidentally triggering Tremor Hemorrhage's burst with this team. It does reduce bleed count, but only by 1 or 2, which isn't all too bad. In my next video, I will be exploring sinking, and then I can talk more about Tremor. Perhaps I can do Tremor and sinking in one video, although I'm not too sure how well that'll go. As you can see here, I've employed the strategy of using assist defense with both Honglu and or Ring Apprentice fast with this team at this turn. This is because assist defense is very, very useful in many, many situations. And as you can see, I've just finished the fight here. I'm going to finish the fight with Ring Apprentice Fast Skill 3, which should be enhanced. I say enhanced, she isn't glowing, so it's not. Regardless, it'll do some, it should do us some good damage.
감상은 어떤가요?
There you go, there's our offense level up. Thank you, Honglu, for your very kind donation. What the fuck? No, we are fine, don't worry about that.
저의 뼈로 등을 잡고 저의 살로 채워넣는 외면의 예술.
Now, contrary to popular belief, this might not be the last turn we do. As I might be mistaken, but last time I checked, Lei Heng ended the fight usually around 700 health, which means that the Ring team is falling behind against the Blood Fiend team. A testament to how shit the Blood Fiends are.
점 찍었네. 인스피레이션 감사합니다.
As you can see here, I'm about to kill the blade stack with Tremor Hemorrhage here, which is yet again a testament to how shit the Ring team truly is behind the scenes. As you can see, they also have burn, which allows them to build up burn on themselves through the burn spreading from the main target they are attacking to them, as burn is possibly the shittest status effect in the game.
어울리는군요.
Fortunately,
마무리를
the Ring team has proved that they can beat Lei Heng, even if behind on Blood Fiend's schedule. Now, I don't know why assist defense. I do know why assist defense wasn't used here, and it's because the Ring team is dog shit. Regardless, we have beaten Lei Heng. Yet again.
근데 요시히데야. 이기려면 그 칼을 싸게 뽑았어야지.
As you can see here, I've made some kind of makeshift hybrid blood fiend ring middle blade burn team. Envy resonance.
당장 집행해주지.
Now, contrary to
요새
popular
일
belief,
말곤 할 게 없어서
it's not a
그런가
crime
자꾸
to
발기타게 된단 말이지.
merge both the blood
해결사
fiends
영상 보는 거랑 좀 비슷한 느낌도
and
있고.
the.
설까
Hang on, I
이런
fucked
재밌을지도?
this up.
기계처럼 대본에 적힌 대로 운명대로 성공하는 걸 원했다면
I do
그 사람의
believe
계획을
that it's meant
망치지도
to
않았어.
be
실패해도
Rodion instead of
괜찮아. 그게
Faust.
인간다운 거잖아.
Bear with me,
그저
dear
당신과
viewer.
친해지고 싶었을 뿐이었는데.
There we go.
당장 집행해.
Thank you, dear viewer, for being so patient with me. Now I can truly showcase the Blade Burn Metal Envy Resonance team. Ooh, pardon me.
그래. 내가 왔다.
Preferably, you want all of your middle units to be staggered here.
이 정도
You
시행착오는 각오했어.
Sinclair didn't get the memo,
어차피
obviously.
감정을
But
잠깐
fret not,
그렇다고 무작정 맞으려는 말은 아니야.
as everyone else is alright.
오랜만에 숨 좀 차는군.
행진의 꽃. 이것이 서곡의 피날레다. 왕의
아니
비호를
치지 말고 썰라니까. 아까는 썰라니까 찌르더니. 아, 니들 머리 좋다며.
There we
이게
go.
어려워?
The staggers were pretty good. Could have been better, could have been worse. As you remember, you're meant to skip this cutscene every time.
너희 너무 얕잡아 보인 거?
Now, contrary to popular belief, the middle team is actually really good at synergizing with both the Blood Fiends and the Ring, as the Blood Fiends and Ring both have quite a lot of envy. As you can see here, I've got a full envy resonance chain ready and raring to go.
바꿔 놀기.
I'm not sure about actually making a bleed stack, but for sure burn will work, as burn is really easy to make a stack for. Although making a burn stack isn't very good, as it will set your sinners on fire. But that's why I've got the Prince of Lamanchaland, Mersul, because he has very good team healing that combats the burn very well.
거기서 지켜보시죠.
We also have Ring Hong Lu, because he applies Corpus Theatre, which helps with lowering speed, doing more damage and more bleed, which is very welcome on this team.
브레이크 슬램.
새삼스럽지만 꽤 괜찮네.
We put Ring Faust on the bench because she helps with bleed count on defense skills. Very well. Yet again, we've got a full envy resonance chain, which is most ideal.
설마
This also means that we have full access to, in fact, I might use Sanguine Desire here. This also means we have full access to the 2 Envy Fragility Otis applied to Lei Heng, who is already weak to Envy, if I'm not mistaken.
보라고 서 있으면 목 떨어진다.
거기서 지켜보시죠. 따스한 피 스며드는군.
그렇지.
이거 분강
바로
맞지?
그거다 딸렘.
This team is also really good for fueling Roseate Desire, one of the better bleed egos in the game.
아름다운 춤을 추는 건
Unfortunately for Robo Heng, he is the victim of said egos and said team. One could say he's some kind of proverbial punching bag, but that's a story for another day. I don't believe we'll get all of our counter skills off, but it's alright, because we've got the 2 that will have done the most damage off. Most ideal, if I do say so myself. Turn 4 and he's already staggered. Minus a few because, well, that's just how it goes. Now, you might be thinking, how the fuck are you gonna get Envy Res Chain here? The answer is I'm not. I'm just gonna wait. I reckon Maso has that clash. Of course he does. And now we inflict Lust Fragility, allowing us to spam all of our Lust skills on the next turn, which is most ideal if I do say so myself. Unfortunately, I don't have all too many Lust skills, but it's alright because I can drag it on for another turn. I reckon she has that clash. It isn't all too uncommon to see clashes like that being won. In fact, I might try that again. Preferably, I don't want that to go through, but I reckon Maso can handle that, as he has 5 hard blood armor, which means even if he does get staggered, he'll only stagger next turn. But he does have a increased damage intake debuff on him, which isn't very good now. Regardless, we can't change it, can we? As you can see, we've got a very good blade stack on Robo Heng, our proverbial canary in the punching bag. The burn stack is looking a bit strong as well, which isn't awfully ideal, but we can live with it, I suppose. As you can see, we rolled a tails on the first coin, which is most ideal, as now it's done minimal damage to Maso. And now the burn stack is gone from there, which is most ideal, as burn spreads onto your sinners after a while. As you can see, I'm using a few envy skills to apply envy fragility next turn.
감상은 어떤가요?
그렇지. 바로 그거다, 딸렘.
As you can see, there may have been a few too many turns of downtime between the envy resonance, but that isn't no worry, as we do also have lust, which is good because we have lust fragility with Maso. As previously mentioned, contrary to popular belief, you don't need envy resonance every turn with the middle, as that is their main gimmick, but it works fine with tons of downtime.
쳐다보기. 우리 엄마 멋있는 건 알아.
갖고 놀기. 틀렸다.
호.
보라고
제
서 있으면
행.
목 떨어진다.
그렇다면 무상이.
And I believe Lei Heng actually auto ends the fight this turn, which is unfortunate because we could have absolutely killed him next turn. But
왜?
it's nothing to worry about. Just a testament to how good this team truly is. As you can see, my makeshift Burn Blade Envy Resonance team is the best of all three demonstrated in this video. I tried my best to stay true to the standards with the other two, but they were simply outclassed by my brilliance. If you wish to praise me in the comments, do not hesitate to,
어때, 딸? 엄마밖에 없지?
and I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye, people.